Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour Podcast.
Right. So the people on the audio versions can't enjoy this right now, but I'm feeling a little emotional over here. I'm feeling nostalgic. I don't know what happened to my camera, but New Metal Jimmy is in the house. I look like I'm right out of a Deftones video right here. This is awesome.
Yeah, I want to hate it, but I can't. The nostalgic part of me doesn't mind it too much, Jim. I
It's an
gotta be
improvement.
honest.
I'm gonna be hanging with Kitty later.
Don't you dare.
Get
Jim,
brackish.
what did you enjoy more? That new metal filter that you have on that everyone tried to use, or that I call it the trying to be in a desert fog look of like the later 2000s that all video games and like a lot of movies tried.
Oh no, this look is way better. Screw that
Yeah.
fog bullshit.
You know
Like
what
there's
it
a good
was? I feel
5 years
like
where
all
everything was gray or green. That's all anything was for a good 5 years.
hmm What would it be now? Like I'm curious, like I feel like it goes through that with everything, every cycle. Like honestly, you know what I would say the past couple years have been? Like is like ultra colorful.
You know what it is? It's got that AI slop sheen on it, where everything looks a little
Mm.
too overfiltered and too smooth and too shiny.
What, you want it too rough? You want it too shiny? You want it too meh?
I'm very needy. I don't know what I want.
Well, we saw the I think I still see it like that, like return to wanting the gritty feel. Like when we see it with stupid ass games that try and do the CRT filters. We see it with like VHS filters now. Like no one who had VHS actually liked that shit. I hate when they try to make it like, yeah, but like you had the lines. It's like, yeah, we fucking hated it. We hit our tracking button until it almost broke the tape. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, and also once it finally like looked right, it's not like we let it stay there either. Like if it looked good, we watched it at that part. And like even back in the old gaming days, like no one saw scan lines. Like that's why scan lines suck on like modern emulation. It's like, oh, we're reinventing it. No, 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 no. You're not reinventing shit. No one noticed it back then. Like you would watch TV and there'd be a computer screen on there and you'd see the lines like going up and down and you go, oh, that's a weird effect. But like you never saw like the little black lines going across your TV as you played.
Careful, careful.
What, Brad? I don't see color in my lines. All right,
Oh, but James,
lines for all over here, Brian. All the colors of the rainbow.
I mean, it's a colorful episode, Jim. I got my lights going crazy in the background. Your new metal filter, Jimmy Wimmy.
I'm
I mean,
whitewashed to hell. Yeah.
but uh, but Chambers, people keeping tally. We are way ahead of schedule from when we would normally post, and
Yeah, so let's just cut the bull crap right now. So the Switch got announced today. Well, we mentioned in the last episode that it might or might not happen. It happened, and we figured instead of just, bull rushing a quick little segment into an episode, what the hell? New year, new me. Let's give you some extra content this year. Why the hell not? So you all get an
hell,
extra episode of the Power Hour this week.
hell yeah,
Two,
now
two
Chambers.
episodes.
What are you drinking on this big announcement day from Nintendo?
Well, Brian, I am drinking from the backlog from the Divine Barrel Brewing. It is their Big Wave citrus and tropical hard soda. So it comes in at 5% alcohol out of Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, yeah, I got it on one of my North Carolina trips. I was actually a little worried about this because it's. Did you ever see the thing with like craft beer cans where like if you don't drink it within a certain amount of time, the label starts to really look like crap?
Yeah,
So this is getting that. It's you can't see it in the light here. Oh, new metal Jimmy
yeah,
can't show it off.
yeah. Your filter is really. I have no idea what true color that can is.
I'm rolling, 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 rolling.
Damn it.
But yeah. So you know what it is? It's Baja Blast colored. That's what it is.
That's what I was gonna say. It looks like the label looks like they're trying to do that. You've been getting a lot of beers that are just trying to gank other people's stuff.
Oh yeah, all about the ganking. So I might have to pour more.
Ooh,
Again,
it
you can't.
really does look like Baja Blast.
It
I mean,
looks exactly like
yeah.
Baja Blast, even more so when you see it in person. It's maybe slightly more green, but it's still on that very teal side that you get from there. And it's goddamn delicious. Like I think Baja Blast is okay. I think this tastes better than actual Baja Blast. And like when we had all those hard Mountain Dews, when we first started drinking them, we're like, eh, until you had like three and we're bombed and we're like, oh, these are delicious. No, this right
Hmm.
away just tastes like a fantastic soda. And like this got canned back in April of 24 and it's still super bubbly. It's awesome. So, yeah, if you ever get the Divine Barrel Brewing down North Carolina, definitely check out one of these if you like you use some sodies.
Damn it. I was gonna say, I feel like I remember you saying that, but in general, do you think Baja Blast is overrated?
Oh yeah, it's
But is it
fine. Everyone's like, "Oh, Baja Blast, oh, it's finally available." It's like it's not that good. And
is it
I'm
one
a
of those things though that like honestly, does anyone get Baja Blast when they're not at Taco Bell?
I mean, for the there, that's a problem though. It's because you can't get it at a lot of places but Taco Bell, and now you can at like certain spots. But I think that's part of the appeal is because it's like, ooh, this is only here. Oh, this is so. It's like the McRib. Like, granted, this is actually good, but fuck the McRib. But it's that old, oh, you can't have this, and now you want it more. That kind of deal.
It's the FOMO, Jim. Everyone falls for it.
Right? It's like sex to high school new metal Jimmy. It's all full circle.
Would you say it's a perfect circle?
Oh, would I ever? Oh, that Maynard.
So,
Also, I will say Perfect Circle better than Tool. I'll go there too.
wow, you're just new metal Jimmy just doesn't give a fuck, does he?
That's goddamn right. I wish I knew this was happening. I would have dug out my old fucking. Well, it won't fit anymore. But the old dog collar, the spikes, the long wallet chain. I would have gone all in.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
I would have had an old Hot Topic shirt that's like 4 sizes too small now.
I take it you don't like the latest Tool album.
Here's the thing with Tool. I respect the hell out of them as musicians.
Okay.
They're top notch musicians, and some of their songs I do like, but I just need a different tempo once. Just once, give me a different tempo. I don't need 8 minutes of a droning on song. And some of them are good and they're fun and they are heavy and they're great musicians, but they bore the shit out of me. I've tried. I've tried so many times.
Hmm. Interesting. So you're never, in other words, you're never like, oh, I'm in the mood for a Tool song. If
Uh,
it's on, you'll listen to it, but that's about it.
yeah, yeah. I've tried to get into Tool like 5 different times and it's never clicked.
What would be your favorite Tool song?
Maybe like Vicarious, I guess.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. You don't do a little headbang to sober?
I mean, Sober's great. Don't get me wrong. I've heard it a billion times.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's probably their most famous one, I would say.
That or
That
Schism.
or Schism, yeah, either one. Um, that's interesting. Yeah, so I I had to run to the store today. We got out of nowhere, I feel like, more snow. So today was a good, you know what, I'm gonna make some grilled cheese and mater soup. It was one of those days, but I didn't have no goddamn mater soup. And I didn't feel like making it from scratch. So ran to the store. And while I was at Weiss,
Right.
I
How do
was
you
like,
make
let me
soup out of Larry the Cable Guy?
I hate you, Jim. I hate you so
Ah,
goddamn much.
I'm a man of culture.
Um, went through Weiss and I saw Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA. I think we've been talking about IPA so much, and it's been so long since I've actually had one that I was like, you know what? I've never had a bad Voodoo Ranger. Let me pick this up. And it's what you would expect. I'm not going to say it's amazing. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it does come in at
It's like
7.5%.
it's like Non-Point. You put on a Non-Point album, you're like, yeah, this is all right. It's nothing
This
special.
is this what we're gonna do the whole episode.
New
Just
Metal
gonna
Jimmy,
keep
baby.
just God.
Keep it in
Jim,
kayfabe.
do you also hate the fact that they're just gonna keep trying to continue Linkin Park? Just change the goddamn band's name, Jim. You can't change a lead singer. Period. I think
Look,
we talked about this, but you can't do it. Period. Period.
look. Chester obviously wanted it to end. You could have just let it end. All right.
In the end, does it even matter, Jim?
Does any of this matter, Bry? No,
I'm
no,
becoming numb to it.
it doesn't matter. God fucking damn it. All right. I hate my own gimmick already.
Paper cut. All right, so like I said, good beer. It doesn't stand out from other Juicy Haze IPAs, but 7.5%. I'm only a few sips in. This is one of those beers where it tastes the percentage that it is, so it's not going to go down super smooth. I did have one about 30 minutes ago because I was getting ready, and then I was like, "Oh, we're doing it later," so I just finished this beer. So it sits heavier. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
But
their juice forests and their juicies and their fruit forests, they always really sit heavy.
did you ever try their spicy shit? What was it called? The Atomic?
No, or maybe once.
Yeah, I think it's called the Atomic. Like whatever. I think it has a big bomb on it, but not bad for spicy beers. And I know you're not a huge fan of them. It's not that like, oh my god, this is so spicy you can't taste anything. It's just like got a nice little kick to it. If you want to try that in your beer,
Interesting.
I know you don't need that. You don't need to be burning your asshole 10 minutes later.
Wouldn't be staying in there long anyway. That's for goddamn sure.
But Chambers, and in the whole couple days since we last talked, any gaming being done?
Almost none. So once again, we're recording this like maybe 3 days after we just recorded. So I played a little bit more RoboCop Rogue City, but that's about it.
Nice. Yeah, I actually got a decent amount of time in for Red Dead, and it's I- like I said, it's a game I don't know how anyone would hate on it. I can see where you would be like, it looks like it's probably just boring,
It
but
would probably bore
you
the
know,
shit out of me.
yeah. What it actually makes me really want every time I play it though is to watch Django and Hateful Eight. Like every
Mhm.
time. Like I'm like, oh man, this is getting me into it. And vice versa. Like when I watch a good cowboy movie or a western, I'm like, I kind of want to just go shoot a revolver and get in bar fights. But yeah, no, still good game. But as you said, my goal this week and probably tomorrow is going to be seeing how long does, we talked about, how long does Berserk Boy take to beat?
My first playthrough it took probably like 6.5 hours, but then my second one took like maybe five.
Okay. So I'm not doing it obviously in one session, but I think over like 2 days I could probably bang it out. Is this
Yeah,
one of those games though? Like, do you have to like do a certain amount of things or collect a certain amount of things to get different endings?
not for different endings, but to get the actual ending, you have to have a certain amount of an item.
Oh, okay then.
But actually, I mean, we can talk about it now. We'll talk about it again in the review. When the game first came out, that requirement was way higher, and people bitched like
Mm,
crazy, apparently. So by the time we're getting around to it, it's less than half of what it was before. Like before, you
makes
needed
sense.
like 50 of this item, and now you only need 20. So when I got there, like I was already way over that. So I was like, oh, okay, this is you know,
And that's
unnecessary.
literally and it leads to the one ending.
It leads to the area you have to go to before the ending and all that shit. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So you have to
So,
do some exploring, but honestly, not a ton. You can do as much as your little heart desires, Brian.
yeah. Well, Chambers, we did talk about a couple days ago, and I mentioned it. I don't know what the fuck. Well, I know why my neck hurts, but I don't know what I did to re-aggravate
What was his name?
it. And sleeping's been a motherfucker for me. Damn it, Jim. Damn it. Damn it. It was Gary. Um, but I definitely, I'm at the point where I have to sleep in a recliner to just get comfortable because otherwise, no chance in hell. And yeah, like everyone, I had my nice little my little resolution list, Jim. I was gonna, be healthier, get back to the gym, eat right, not drink too much. Failing on all accounts, Jim. Um,
16 days
but
in. And same.
yeah, but when I'm hurt like this, I'm like, fuck, whatever. Best thing I can do is try to get some sleep and do what I can to rest the best I can. And I mentioned it last podcast. I'll mention it again here now, even a further couple more days in. We got sent from Magic Mind the
Right.
Magic
It's
Mind
called
sleep.
the sleep performance shot. I got it right here.
Yeah.
Which you can't see
So
because I'm new metal Jimmy.
because you're new metal Jimmy. But the performance shot we've had before, I still use it. I said I actually still prefer that over. I told you I had to give up 5 hour energy drinks. Like that shit fucks me up. Makes my heart feel like it's gonna explode. The performance shot, the regular during the day, I like it because it makes me feel a little better after like lunchtime, especially after I eat like a sandwich or something. But the Magic Mind Sleep has been good because while it sucks trying to fall asleep, this definitely helps the process. And I can say I've had way more clear dreams, which I don't know if that means I'm getting better REM sleep or whatever the hell it's called, but I've been sleeping better. That's all I know. And what I like is I've always been leery of people who take what's it called,
Melatonin.
melatonin. Yeah, I don't want to do that because I don't want to then depend on it. What's nice about this is it's basically all natural ingredients like chamomile, friggin' chicory root, like stuff like that. That it's completely safe. There's no worry about like you're gonna start needing it. It's not habit forming. So it's something I really enjoy. I was able to give you your half now, so I can't wait to hear what your take is by the next podcast. But I'm enjoying it. It is the one thing that's been helping me sleep. And, right now we have a great offer for you guys. Head over to magicmind.com/DBPG January to get 45% off your order. If you want to combine both the performance shot and the Magic Mind sleep shot, it's a great bundle. If you're trying to get away from energy drinks, if you're trying to sleep better, this will help you with your mental health and maybe help you game better.
Yes, this will be a hell of a test tonight because I'm drinking a Mountain Dew inspired beer. So God knows what if there's actually any caffeine in there or whatever, and I just live off caffeine anyway. So I sleep like crap. This will be the test. Recording night is always a hell for me, so I will let you know the next time. I'll be taking it every night until the next recording.
Nice. Yeah. So once again, make sure use the link below. It is in our description. It's magicmind.com/dbpg January and get 45% off your order. All right, Chambers. We're here tonight for one reason and one reason only. Although we're going to cover a couple topics. You mentioned at the beginning the Nintendo Switch 2 first look trailer. One of the most, I don't even non promoted, non hyped, and just kind of I'm gonna say it, just blah trailers for a system announcement I've ever seen. Like one of the major comments through the video, and I'll be playing the video, not with the music, of course. So you're gonna have to watch music yourself. Like it's super quiet until about a minute, some change in, and even then, it's kind of like, yep, here it is. What's your take on this?
Um, it seems like a thing that they're just like, fine, everything's getting leaked anyway. We might as well just show it because basically almost all the leaks so far have been accurate. Basically a new magnetic holding system. It's got the IR sensor for, they showed off kind of how it would look as a mouse. It's bigger. It's got, bigger screen, bigger Joy Cons. It has a better kickstand in the back. And they even teased the new Mario Kart. So they had little blurbs at the end that said that it'll be compatible with original Switch games, even though a couple games might not be compatible. But
I love that. They're like physical and digital asterisks. Some Switch games may not be compatible. Like, well, what the fuck?
it's probably going to be a thing where, like, it depends on if the Joy-Con's going to have the IR sensor at the bottom again, like the original ones had. And it's a thing that, like, I don't know, 10 games maybe ever used. So, like, they could be just covering their bases where it's not going to be 100% compatible. Like, maybe fucking Labo doesn't work with it now because you don't have a certain sensor in there or a certain, stuff that they're like, we don't need this anymore. So that's what I'm going to assume it probably means. I'm going to guess probably 99% of the games you want to play, you'll be able to play fine.
Which that in and of itself, I think, is the biggest win. Everything else about this, I'm like, this took that long to make. Like at the end of the day, I'm like you said, it's just a bigger screen. I'm pissed that they stuck with the Joy Cons. I still think they're one of the worst design fucking things.
I mean, if
But
they're a little bigger, they might be more comfortable now.
maybe, I mean, that's what I'm really curious what an actual in your hand, like, what does it feel like, right? Because if you had to guess, how much bigger do you think that actually is, the screen and like the Joy Cons?
I mean, from the what they showed, at least a half inch to an inch. So it doesn't look like it's aggressively bigger. It's not like going to be like a Steam Deck or anything, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely looks bigger.
How do you feel about? I mean, we've always known this was probably going to be a name, but I also kind of think it's like I'm not crazy about like the actual design where it's like the Switch design with just the number two next to it. I think that kind of looks shitty.
I am fine with it because all you ever hear from year to year is what's with the fucking names? Why can't they just call something, that's successful the Wii 2 or something like that? What they were bitching back in the day about that. For once, they're going conventional. I'm fine with it. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's not an innovative name." I don't care. They're going, "Oh, this is the least innovative console they've had in ever." I'm like, "I don't care. Just give me what works, but make it more powerful and make it better, and I will be happy with that." I don't need, because here's the thing. They have it. It's what we've seen for 20 some years now. Big success, shoot their load with wacky shit, fail, go back to the drawing board. Big success, shoot their load, wacky shit, fail, rinse and repeat. We don't need that. Just give us a Nintendo experience with more power. If the rumors are true, once again, it'll be about as powerful as a PS4 Pro, which is pretty good. So to have that in a handheld, that'll hold us over for a while, and like that'll make third-party porting of games. Of course, they'll still not look as good, but they won't be like a sloppy mess either for the most part. So, you know what? I am fine with it. Is it maybe simple? Is it even maybe playing it safe? Yes, 100%. But am I fine with that? Yes. No wacky shit. I love the Switch. Just give me more Switch. I don't care.
All good points. Not the fucking question I asked. I said, doesn't that just Switch logo with the two on it look goofy?
I think it's fine.
You think it's fine?
It's
Well,
fine.
you don't care about stuff like that.
No, I'm
The
not a woman.
stand.
I'm not a woman, Brian. I don't care about the logo. All right.
Are we
Oh,
sure
these
about that?
these
Are we
aesthetics
sure
don't
about that?
these aesthetics aren't pleasing enough.
So here's my
Why
question.
can't I customize my home screen?
Well, it's funny.
When are they gonna have a pop socket for my Switch?
Logan just happened to be walking by when he's like, "Is that the new Switch?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Is it gonna have some different color options, or is it just gonna be that boring?" That was literally verbatim. I was like, "I'm sure it'll come out with a million variants," but he's like, "Yeah, because that just looks blah." And I was like, "All right." From a kid's just perspective, a
Hey, you know what?
7-year-old kid.
Target audience right there. It's either 7-year-olds and people our age. That's the target audience. So
Yeah, so he's like, "Oh, are we gonna get it?" I was like, "No, you broke my last one." He's like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah, no, we'll
wait,
wait
he
until it's
broke your
cheaper,
Switch?
which will be forever, but still." He put it in a dock. We brought it in the living room because he wanted to play it. And my area where my TV is, like that marble area right above the fireplace. So
Oh
he put
yeah.
it up there, and I guess it just he left it kind of not well supported, and it fell off, and the fucking Joy-Con like broke, but like kind of broke off on the side of the Switch. So I maybe can just get new Joy-Cons and kind of pull it off, but like the slot that holds a Joy-Con also kind of popped out. So I don't know if I can, like, if I use a third party controller, I think I can still use it, but the Joy-Cons are completely fucked.
Oh, well, then just get a pro controller or some other
Which
controller
I
then.
which I have, but I'm just saying I'm still mad. I'm like, you fucking broke it at the end of the day, you know? So
That's the joy of
yeah,
children, Brian. It's always a
yeah.
blessing.
I mean, like I said, what I would wait for is, like you said, they're showing the new Mario Kart, which we speculated that. And is it time for also a new Smash too? Like, do they need to do the 1-2 punch with it?
It's either going to be a Smash or a Mario, and I think it's more likely a Mario because Sakurai said he's not coming back. Now, Nintendo could always just dump a Brinks truck in front of his house and say, "Come on, one more," because the guy nearly kills himself developing all these games every time. So you never know, but I would more likely expect a new 3D Mario than anything else.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, for me to really want it, I need to see something like other than just a new whatever. Because here's the deal: there's not going to be a situation where I third party opt to go with my Switch, unless it's a game that's like like your mobile games like Balatro or something. That's fine.
Great place for it,
Yeah, I mean the phone's still better, but yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
But yeah, no, very and obviously they summarize um April 2nd is the Nintendo Direct. They'll have more information on that. What are you anticipating other than obviously they'll probably show a little more Mario Kart? What other games you think they will announce for it?
Uh, hmm.
Like remember with the original Switch, they're like it can play Skyrim. Do you think they'll go the route that I said, which is somehow they've integrated Xbox and they're like you can play Call of Duty now on your Switch?
Oh yeah, I mean, people. I wouldn't be shocked if they did a COD. That might be the way to go. At least like a dedicated Warzone version. They might even say fuck normal COD to just have Warzone on there.
Just have Warzone, yeah, absolutely. I to make the most money, why would you not go that route?
Yeah, and maybe throw a game from a couple years ago onto there. Like, I mean, they've already had Dark Souls remastered. Like, maybe they'll have Elden Ring. Maybe that can be the big open world third party game they throw on there.
Hmm. Do you? I'd say there's no chance in hell you're going to see a new Zelda game. You said maybe new Mario. Do you think they do the Metroid?
Metroid Prime 4, maybe if it's ready. That might be a one. Like, Metroid's never sold though all that
Oh,
well,
you
but that
know
would
what?
be a
I'm
good
sorry. At the
experiment.
end of the video, they show Metroid Prime 4 Beyond
Well, yeah, they've
at
already.
Nintendo Direct.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So okay, so they'll have that. Let's throw out some wild speculations. Is there anything
Before we
else?
do that, Brian. So the I went and got another beer because I pounded down that big wave so goddamn fast. So now I'm drinking the from Mythic Brewing, the Abominable Joe Man, a coffee stout. 7.5% alcohol. Really gonna be pushing this magic mind to help me sleep tonight. But Brian, I think I made a tactical mistake by
Uh
having a soda beer before a coffee stout.
oh.
Probably should have done that the other way around.
Yeah.
I mean, this is good. It's a very good stout so far. Don't get me wrong. But that first hit, I was like, oh God. I was like, my taste buds were not properly primed. Just throwing that little non sequitur out there.
I mean, that is a yeah, you're really clashing styles there.
And I don't think I could have clashed them anymore, to be honest with you. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm just continuing with Voodoo Ranger, so it's my third one, and I feel them. That's what I say. Now I only had grilled cheese and tomato soup. It was one grilled cheese, one tomato soup. Probably not enough to be dealing with a whole bunch of 7.5% IPAs, but here we are.
God bless you, Brad. Good for you. But yeah, so back to subject. Yeah, Metroid Prime 4, Mario Kart, obviously. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say a port of Elden Ring. That'll be my gamble.
I'm gonna say something new in the DK universe.
Hmm. Oh,
I
speaking of DK, Brian. So people were all talking about it. The end of an
and Jim,
era.
I'm not talking about Dairy Queen. Go on.
That's DQ, Brian. You ignorant slut. What are you doing?
You're right. I'm just gonna the 7.5s are hitting me, Jim. All right.
That's what we're gonna call it. So, uh, end of an era, Brian. The rare design for DK is no more. They People all over Twitter paused it, took a look at Donkey Kong on that cart, and they went, "That's the movie model. That's not the ones that we've seen in all these games for all these years." So,
Ooh.
yep. So they are.
I mean, is the movie model that much different?
Brian, you might as well rip my still beating heart out of my chest. Like, how dare
I'm
you,
just
sir?
asking. I'm just asking a question. Like,
No, I don't care. I personally don't give a shit. I'm just saying, bro, do you have to replace the voice with Seth Rogen now, there, don't you?
no,
Instead of
absolutely fucking not.
you get
Absolutely fucking not. I'm just saying the model himself. I'm trying to think.
Brian. I demand in Mario Kart old Jewish Fred Armisen in Cranky Kong. All right, we got him in the movie. It's time for him to be in Mario Kart.
Okay, here's the deal. You know, it's. Do you think it's probably just gonna have a bunch of skins per character? Which, by the way, am I dumb? I know I'm
Yes.
dumb. But besides that, in the last Mario Kart, are there different skins or are they just completely different characters? Like, why has that never been a feature with Mario Kart?
Uh, I could be wrong because I haven't played. I actually played way less Mario Kart 8 than you would think. Because I played it more in the Wii U. But yeah, I don't think there were any skins. It was just a shitload of characters in there, and most of your customization came with how you customized your cart and your parachute and your wheels, basically.
Like, don't you think that's such an obvious lane to like make everyone jizz in their pants if like you're like, here's the 8-bit versions of all the characters you love. Here's the different skins. Like,
Right, right, you fool. Right. How can you make money if you don't sell the skins to people separately,
I mean, you're not wrong.
or include it as a perk with Nintendo Online?
You know, the only reason that even came to my head was like with all the shit that's been getting sold in Warzone, one of the things was the fucking Doom shotgun in its like original 8 or 16, whatever, 16-bit, I guess it technically was in the original Doom game from the PC version. And with the sound effect and everything in COD Warzone, and you're
That's
running
awesome.
that shit. And I think there was even like a chainsaw, the chainsaw too. And I'm like, all right, if they can replicate that in that game, you could easily like have 8-bit Mario, fucking the original Donkey Kong. Like you could have all those characters just as skin versions. I don't know. I think that's an easy like a new gimmick and gimme because what else are you really going to offer in fucking Mario Kart at this point? You have all the customizations you really need with your cars. Give it to your characters.
Right. Do you bring back the real life tie-ins like when they had Mercedes carts in Mario Kart 8? Do you bring Nicki Minaj from Warzone into Mario Kart? Is now the time, Bry.
You know what? Honestly, you say that, and I know you're joking, but like the Fortnite Call of Duty way of like having tie-ins to movies, like don't be shocked if you don't see Captain America on a fucking car. Like
Right. You could make so many game modes. You could have like the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar mode. You could have Chris Rock versus Dylan Mulvaney. There's so many options, Brian.
so yeah, obviously come April 2nd, we will be following up with this. Do you think everything under the sun's gonna get leaked before then, Jim?
The way it's been going, I mean, a lot of it basically has been leaked and confirmed. So yeah, probably a lot more is going to be coming. For
When
as
is the
tight knit as Nintendo is, it is shocking how much shit has been leaked and correctly
well here
leaked.
here's my
Because
thing.
the original Switch, there were all these leaks and they were all wrong. Whereas this one, they've almost all been right. It's crazy.
Here's my thing. When was the last time anything big, movie, music, gaming, hasn't been leaked?
It's been a yeah, that's a good point.
Would you
It's
say
been
it's
a
been a while?
it's been a while. I mean, they're digging these up with their mud shovels, Brian. I don't know how they do it.
Don't you dare. But yeah, we'll follow up. But like I said, this was the thing that sparked we gotta talk about it. But like we said, we do have a few other topics. One of them is something I knew nothing about. It's kind of interesting, comes to us from thegamer.com. There's been ongoing development for an indie game called Fortune's Run, excuse me, which was a two dev developed game for quite a while, and then eventually it dropped down
Currently in
to
early
a
access. It's been in early access for a little while now.
yeah, I think since 2003, September of 2003,
No,
it's been
Brian,
Steam in early access.
2023.
Yes, I I don't words right now, Jim. Um, but yeah, so it was a two-person gig. Uh, one of the members had a significant amount of time off due to some major surgery. Eventually, that led to the other half just working on their own, and the one-man team can no longer work on it, Jim. And why is that?
Well, Brian, he's going to the clink. Getting locked up for a good 3 years for something that they don't go into. But
We don't know.
we
Does
do
it
not
kill
know.
you that you don't know? Because it bothers me.
I want to. I feels like something you can look up. Like I need to know the name of this guy so I can look it up and be like, oh, that's what he did.
Well, that's what bothers me about this article. Doesn't
He's
say their names.
stole
It
an old
doesn't
lady's marble
say.
rye. That's what he did.
Well, here's the deal. He meant the developer says, "Hey, I've been sentenced to prison for 3 years. It's a long story, but I lived a very different life before I was a game developer, and I wasn't living very well. My case is about 5 years old. I have been going through the legal process this whole time, and I've been working on this. I have finally been found guilty and sentenced. I'm going away in a month. It's a shame, but the consequences of my actions. I was a very violent person, and I hurt a lot of people in my life." So the game isn't totally dead, but unfortunately, due to even further bad things happening, it's unclear what will happen. Can we just say the game's dead, Jim?
I mean,
Unless the
it's
other half comes back and really just does whatever. Because from what I understand, this is like a very
oh,
ambitious.
wait. No, I
Go
found
on.
it. Yeah, he's in there for assault. He apparently used to be known as a freak on a leash.
Jim, I can't tell if you're doing the new metal corn thing or if that's what he actually claimed, but I hate you either way.
Now I'm not going to tell you. It was
Don't
the
you
corn
dare.
thing. I have no idea what he did.
Um, what I will say is I went on to Steam, I looked up the trailer. The game, it's done in a Doom style. Um, you like interact with the environment very heavily. It's not Doom in the sense that you're just locked forward. Like you're looking up, down, right, left, all things. You can shoot pipes on the wall. And that's the thing is it's a very like ambitious looking game for two guys that developed it. Great fucking job. It's still getting very positive reviews out of uh, has like about 500 specific reviews. Um, yeah, I don't know. The game looks like a game I would enjoy, but yeah, a dude going to jail and the other dude going through major surgery. I don't know. Call me
You know,
negative, Jim. I don't think it's going anywhere.
you know what? I'll be positive, Jimmy, over here. All right. Maybe this will be that thing he thinks about all 3 years while in jail and just goes, I just got to finish it. I just got to get back there. Because one thing he has going for him is it's not like it's a cutting edge graphics kind of game. It's got that timeless look, that timeless retro Doom look. So he can always just come back and finish it.
Hmm. You could.
Like there's
I'm
nothing really stopping him from doing it
no.
besides, jail and
Besides
probably
jail,
probation.
assuming he stays clean and everything goes well in jail,
Yeah,
which I'm
he
sure it always does.
right. They always come out better. It never goes wrong and they never repeat.
I I wish the best for him. You know, as a dude that's developing the game, I don't know what he's done in his past. I hope it's like I hope it's not assault in a how do I say this? Assault in a negative way versus just like he was like always fighting people. Like I hope he wasn't attacking random innocent people and turns out this dude's a complete scumbag. I hope it's more like he got into a fight in self defense and maybe went too far.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, he's at parole. He asks them to pardon me. He comes out with a new skin.
Ah, don't,
The-
don't.
and his life is stellar after Brian. That's the happy ending right there.
I'm gonna force a transition. I'm just gonna go to your buddy Elon Musk, Jim.
My buddy, you're the one being like, "Ooh, he's a gamer like us. He's so high up in Diablo."
I think you gave that topic too, Jim.
No, you're the one who brought that up because he was on Rogan. You brought that up
Yeah,
like out of nowhere, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool."
but was I wrong?
Well, you might have been
Not about
right.
Diablo, but
He
maybe
might
about a different game.
he might be
You
up
tell
there,
me.
but it might not be because of his gamer aptitude, Brian. I'm not going to say he's not a gamer. He's obviously a gamer, but I think he's doing some fuckery. I think the richest man in the world might be fucking around a little to make himself look better. Not like he hasn't spent $40 billion before to try to do that, so far be it from me to say that he would try to do it in some other field.
Jim, before okay, I need to set the tone for this. There's going to be a few things talked about him,
Bry, is the
but
tone drop D?
no, it's a deaf tone, Jim.
Ah,
Um, but so Elon Musk is getting called out by the Path of Exile 2 players. Jim, did you ever play that game? Do you know what the fuck that game is? Well, I know you
I
didn't play it.
yeah, I've only vaguely heard of it before this.
So the way people are spurging out about this shit and what I'm saying is like basically he's claimed to be super high level hardcore character and then he did a stream and people are like calling out like oh man he's not even mapping this right, oh man he's not even doing the right game mechanics, like level of nerdom that is so frustrating, which either one could be true. Jim, you just pointed out, and what most people are claiming is Did he hire someone to get him to that level and then they kind of just handed it off to him and he's playing it, making these claims? Other people, like this article, seems actually more infer that maybe he just had streamer jitters. Like maybe like in front of everyone, he's just under pressure. I don't know. Maybe he's also a guy that's very kind of off and he was doing
Oh,
shit that seemed
you,
weird.
you don't say.
I'm saying like the fact that you have a billionaire who runs a gazillion companies that does no matter what you feel about the dude, he does crazy shit. And the fact that he took time to stream a video game like this, like, would it be out of this world that he could have spent hundreds of hours behind the scenes playing it? It doesn't make sense to me, but a lot of the shit the dude does doesn't make sense to me. The fact that he engages online with as many people as he does, that doesn't make sense to me. Um, I don't know. I watched the video of him not knowing the game and the amount of I followed up with like a bunch of reactions or whatever. And like I said, people calling out like he doesn't even have that hotkeyed. He's actually manually dropping this thing. Da, da, da. Like that irked me more than anything, Jim. I'm like, you fucking nerds. Calm down.
Well, Brian, here's the thing. You can't go out there and flex your muscles about your acumen and nerddom without expecting the nerds to hyper focus on it, especially on a more hyper elite nerdy game like Path of Exile. So it's not like we're talking like Call of Duty and he goes in there and he like shits to bed and you can go, oh, that's bad luck. Like if you're a super high level, like elite level gamer in a more niche kind of game like Path to Exile, you have to know your shit. And like take it from me, from my little time fucking around with StarCraft multiplayer and ladder. Like if you don't hotkey, you're done because you're not going to have the APM to fucking do anything and you'll just be dead instantly. So when you're have to multitask like crazy, like there's no way you're going to dick around with mouse and keyboard and survive that long, especially at that level and when there's permadeath and all that bull crap. So, you know what, Bry? As much as the nerds are pissing you off here, they're probably right. I don't think, Brad, look, we've been calling ourselves, there's been a lot of tism thrown around on this podcast lately. And when it comes to games like that, you're not going to go past that level of like hyper focus.
True. But you said you can't do that. But guess what, Jim? When you're a billionaire, you can do that.
Right. When you pay
Like
people.
uh, there's that level. Like there is it's also like the argument of
Look,
gamers getting mad
if
if
he
you want
didn't
to
if he
pay
didn't
to
jerk
win,
himself
right?
off, if he didn't jerk himself off for how good he is at it, and I'll get to your point in a second. If he didn't say it like I'm an elite level player and super high level in this, then no one would have cared. It's just like for people if they jerked themselves off for how good they are, but they use cheats or they just pay for all the good stuff. It's like when DSP was talking about how high up he was in that WWE mobile game, and then everyone found out that he spent like $100,000 on it and crap like that. Like that's when you set yourself up for failure and hyper scrutiny online.
So
If
here's my question though. I saw his Diablo claim, which to my knowledge I didn't see backlash on that. All I'm saying is when did he claim about this game? Because that's the thing I couldn't find.
I have to assume he did at some point for everyone. You know what? I'll be fair here. Maybe he even didn't about this one. But if he did it for
Like, is
Diablo,
it
he
that he
probably did it
just
for this too.
and I'm not saying listen, he if he did, like you said, that's a different story. If he made a claim, different. But let's just say he didn't and he just booted it up and he's a level, what was it, 90 something in this game, and people are then like if he didn't and people are freaking out, I have a bigger problem with it. If he did, I don't like shit talkers. I hate that more than anything.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not a fan of that. Um, you better be able to back your shit up. But if he didn't, and it was just he went on a stream with a character that was at level 95 hardcore, and then people were like, "This is horseshit." I'm like, I'm actually okay with that as long as he didn't make the claim. And I like I said, I tried finding the claim. All I see is continued reference to the Diablo thing. And I'm
And
like,
maybe
well,
and maybe he didn't claim he's elite, but if he went on there and went, well, this is obviously my account, then that's still kind of basically it. Like maybe he wasn't jerking himself off, but he was saying, I'm a level 90 super god of this game, because apparently that's like the most elite of the elite to be that high. That kind of deal. But yeah, and back to your point about Diablo. I saw some things, but like it was tough to find because people are like, "Oh, only uploaded it to this site with that has like 2,000 submissions or something like that." And I saw other things that are like, "Yeah, the score he submitted went to this site, but they never approved it." So I don't know what's right and what's wrong with the Diablo thing, but I don't know. This crap just doesn't flush for me because it's like you can't be a schmillionaire running like 4,000 companies and have the time to put 2 billion hours into a video game as well. It just doesn't make sense.
What if he does though? Like, let's put the naysaying away. I'm just saying, what if he does? Is it worse or better if he does? Like, is it better if he actually did, or is it worse if he didn't? In this particular situation, knowing what he does, like, I don't know which one is. I don't know because either way, in either one, whether he did or didn't, it humanizes a friggin' billionaire to a level of like, if this isn't apparent that like everyone's human at every level, like I don't know, there's something to that. We've seen the lowest of lowest level dudes, fucking Billy Mitchell cheating and fucking Pac-Man. But like, okay, a dude that runs multi companies, if enough people believed he was actually this elite and didn't have any help on the side, is that crazier? Or is it crazier to believe what if he actually did? I don't know.
That's a good point too, because then he would almost be like Vince McMahon level of like never sleeping and just always doing something at that point, which there's a
It could
chance
be.
he could be. There's a chance. But the only reason I don't think it is because the dude never stops fucking tweeting. I don't know how he has the time to play a game ever because he tweets 4,000 times a day. I was trying to find tweets just for later topics we have tonight, and I was scrolling for like 10 full minutes. He never shuts the fuck up on there.
I mean, it is number one, he's Xing, and it is his company, Jim.
I mean, it is. You're right on both accounts, Brian. I can't argue that. You got me there.
And that leads me right to the next topic, which is I'm the fact that he is so willing to engage so many people at I'm just gonna say lower levels could lead me to believe he somehow finds a time to just do this. And he's in a little bit of a tizzy with how do you even say Amazon Gold?
As Asmongold.
But it's AM.
Asmond.
Oh, well, okay. Then I'm going to call it Dextero because in their title, it's AMSONG.
Oh, well, they're retarded.
Well, all right. I thought it was Asmond, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get myself in another Dasnia situation. And here we go. So, yeah, in the
Hey, baby.
body, they do it right. But I feel like a couple months ago we talked about this guy, and
He always pops up. He's a lightning rod in some ways.
I looked it up. Millions of subscribers, so clearly very popular. And I'm not completely unfamiliar. Like I know he's in the gaming zeitgeist, if you will, but I still know nothing about him other than people call him out for being like having trash around him and just being dirty.
Oh no, he is a living dirtball. Everyone's always like, "How are you this rich and live in this squalor?" So yeah.
So, but yeah, so Elon is in a little bit of a tisk because this guy called him out about this Path of Exile thing and leaks some DMs between them. And basically, Elon's trying to be like, you got to ask your masters if you're allowed to do things based on some DMs, which Asmund was basically just saying, I kind of have my editors run my YouTube channel for me and they cut clips. And I don't know what's weirder here, Elon trying to flex that or the amount of complete ball lickers it seems like to Asmund. They're like, actually, he's their boss. And I'm like, both I wouldn't want to be party to either one of the supporters on this end, Jim.
Oh, dude, it's awful. It's literally like two of the worst people on the fucking slate, just like sparking out at each other. And it's just like, dude, you're a billionaire and you just launched a rocket that blew up today, and like
Yeah.
you're fighting with Asmongold about your fucking gamer cred. Like, dude, like as we've come to know about Elon, all he wants to do is be thought of as cool by people. He's that little nerdy kid that grew up just wanted to be the cool guy all the time, wants to be based, wants to be a gamer, wants to be a meme guy, and bought Twitter just to do that. And he's fighting
Listen,
with
I
a
don't
fucking streamer.
I don't doubt that he's a gamer. Let's just say he's
Yeah, you know
arguing
what?
to want
I
to
will.
be an elite gamer.
Yes, I will. I will give him that credit. I think he is obviously a gamer. It's like it's fine to just be a gamer. You don't have to also fake being
Be the
elite either.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of, it's a weird comparison, but I think anyone that gets to that status, him, Zuckerberg, fucking Bezos, all the, like, you have to have that, like, I can't be anything but the best in everything I try. So it's probably just baked into him. Like there's a complex there. But yeah, to go at it with this Asmongold, which I don't know that guy. He seems weird. Like that's the best way I'll put him. He seems very fucking weird. Um, I,
Yeah,
I
I don't follow him and I don't know a ton about him. He comes up here and there. Like every time he has a take on like the hot gaming topic of the day, like someone will have some opinion of what he says about it. I think lately he's been kind of going towards the more grumsy sphere of the DEI stuff, but he's not like all he talks about. And I know he's got like his issues with trans people and crap, whatever. But like, yeah, like he's I guess leans more right. I would have to say. So of course half of Twitter already hates him, but I can't follow the guy. He's almost like a he's like penguins to me, or mystical, or moist critical. That's what I'm thinking of. Where it's just like I try to listen to their clips and I just think they're incredibly boring and I turn it off. So they just commentate on shit. I go, well, this is boring, and then I move on to something else. But like back to topic, it's like, but still, why is a billionaire fighting with you about gamer?
yeah. And then Asmon was okay. Here's the thing, and I'm so glad I was not the only one. So one of the other things we have in here is a link to Asmon basically saying leaking my DMs is one thing, but this is absolutely uncalled for. And I don't know what he's calling out here because he basically re-shows Elon Musk saying, I'm on hundreds of streams on YouTube playing live with the world's best players. No other way to say this, but Asmongold is good at caustic. And then under it, there's readers added context. Asmongold has achievements in World of Warcraft, such as rank 12 Arms Warrior, rank 47 Arms Warrior, and many more. Meanwhile, the accuser here is proven to fake his achievements in PoE2. And the only thing I can guess is
Elon was calling out. Yeah, he said is good at caustic commentary and making fun of people. He is not good at video games. You had to click the read more button there, Bry, and that's why all the community notes came at him saying that Asmon actually has some high ranks in some games and shit like that. So if you're attacking his gamer cred, there's actually stuff to prove it.
that is where it completely loses me, Jim. Right there. Just I'm sorry, like I don't know what rank 12 Arms Warrior in Emerald Knight is. I don't know what rank 47 Arms Warrior in Blackrock Foundry is.
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you either.
I just fuck that means so nothing to me. And that makes me like it's when I see shit like this that I'm like, fuck, I don't want to admit that I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
Like this is my level where I go, oh, this is like when there's mainstream shit against gamers. I'm like, this is the kind of shit they focus. Like, if your achievement is shit like this. Now, grant Asmon, he's got millions of subscribers. He's probably, I'm sure he's making a living and a comfy one off of YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And Twitch and all that shit. Yeah.
but part of me believes like it can't just be because he was good at a game. He must have a charisma about him that resonates with people, whether we
Yeah.
like it or not,
No, he
one
he
way or
definitely
another.
has a certain charisma. So
Yeah.
like you can't fake getting. Here's the thing, like you can fake your way to getting like some success on YouTube, but getting to that million threshold, you got to just kind of have it. And like I don't like what it is with him, but it obviously 3.5 million people disagree with me. So
And yeah, so while I still think Elon is punching way down, like the
uh,
fact that there was enough
let's be fair
community
here.
notes.
Let's be fair here. If you're going in Elon and Elon goes back, he's punching down everyone. He's the
Yeah.
richest man in the world. I mean, dude, he even fucking he made fucking our good buddy Kevin POTUS of Palette Swap. He made his life a living hell for like 3 days because he saw a tweet that Kevin did about him that he didn't like, quote tweeted it while Kevin was asleep taking a nap, and he wakes up to to an actual like hell on Twitter.
So, and that goes back to my original thing. Like, knowing he does that, even to our buddy Kevin, is it that
Who's
hard to
no
believe?
Asmongold. No shade to Kevin,
No, no,
obviously, but
no.
like he's no Asmongold. Like, yeah.
But that's my point. Knowing that, is it that crazy that on his whatever off time, he's not grinding away at a game like Path of Exiles? Like, that's where my mind goes, okay, like you said, this guy probably just doesn't sleep. Not suggesting he's on drugs or whatever, but like his mind works differently. He's probably just constantly go, 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 go. So I don't know. It's all weird, but this guy, Asmongold, Jim, we've talked about him before, and he's actually the focus of this week's Normie View. So why don't you set the stage for us?
Well, God, I should have saved the fucking. Hold on. I have to. There's a great tweet here about. No, fuck it. It's too much work because it's one of those ones where it's like, oh, Pirate Nation gets kicked out of WoW clan, out of Dog Thing clan because of something or other. And it's one of those things where it's like, you see like, oh, Fizzlebutt went after Clap Clap on Twitter, and like my brain melted. It's all these names I've never heard of before. But
Just so
yes,
you know, I've read it all. And yes, Pirate Software did get kicked out of OnlyFans. But go on,
OnlyFans. That's that. There you go. Yeah.
which
So
is a big streamer guild in World of Warcraft. So go on.
yeah, it's apparently one of the biggest ones. So, this all started with a tweet from Pirate Software. So, a lot of people are mad that I talked to Asmongold recently about Ashes of Creation. I can see all your comments and messages about this through to YouTube and here on Twitter. In this instance, another creator made a disparaging video about the game, and Asmond didn't have enough game knowledge to talk about it because he hadn't had the chance to play it. This immediately makes the audience have a negative opinion of something with nobody there to say otherwise. I have over 500 hours in the game and refuted the video made by the other creator. As Asmund's channel was the flashpoint for this, it makes sense to talk to him about the situation and clear the air of bullshit. We did this live on Twitch the same day it happened. In the internet of today, if you don't say something, then the room will fill up with people who do. I chose to help set the record straight on this, and I'm glad to have done so. If you want to cancel me for talking to him, that's fine, but I would do this again given the chance. The developers don't deserve unwarranted hate. So, you read something like that, and as an outsider, you go, what is this? Why do I care? And the comments under it are basically all going after him for talking to Asmongold. And it's definitely more the left side of Twitter because of Asmund's political leanings and shit like this, who are all basically going like even the more level-headed ones are like, look, we're not saying that you talking to this guy is all that bad, but you could have talked to anyone else just because of his political leanings, basically.
Good. No, I'm not going to interrupt. Keep going.
Yeah. And so it's just going on and on like that. And apparently he had some follow-up tweets that like were just like, okay, but I don't care. Like, I don't think what I did was wrong for talking to this guy. And then there's, a bunch of people who are going, oh, this is fucking based, just so based. So I was like, all right, who the hell is this Pirate Nation guy? Which is a question that, like, probably the only commentary drama channel I like, Nicholas Diorio. He was like, all right, who the fuck's this Pirate Software guy? And the comments are basically like a computer genius who got super popular for being a computer guy, but is now getting a bunch of backlash for being a autistic guy in hardcore WoW. The full rundown. Okay, here's the full rundown. He was kicked from OnlyFans because he bailed on a fight that caused the guild to whip to save his own skin. And then he claimed to have no mana, but he had two. Okay, there's like 5 paragraphs of. Here's what's going on, Brian.
All he
So
did was he backed out of a fight that the guild pushed forward, and he said he just backed out. He's like, it became a shit show because I saw this response, and then I read his full response where he's like, yeah, we've always done these guild fights. Sometimes they're very organized. This one was not. We were all gonna lose. He's like, I backed out. Eventually, he came back. He got thousands of death threats apparently about this and all this shit about backing out of this guild, even though he was still in the guild and they continued to do dungeon runs and guild fights after that. And he's like, but the continual like harassment he got from that was eventually became too much. He's like, fuck this, and got out of there. So that's my way of simplifying what I read from that.
Well, he did get kicked from it, so he didn't like leave that thing. Or you mean the game
I,
itself?
I I'm reading. I was basing that on what he said. So he had a response to that little like sub thread underneath Nicholas Daddario, and then uh, Pirate Software himself had a whole thread himself with receipts. I'll just say.
Oh, okay. So,
So either way, it just that incident sparked the whole situation. Whether he was kicked or he left.
man, you went down a real rabbit hole here. You went
Oh,
down
I
more than
sure
I
did,
did.
Jim, and my brain fucking rotted because I also was like, let me listen to this whole. I'll admit it was a 35-minute clip. I skipped around quite a bit because all these two fucking nerds talked about was this game Ashes of Creation. What it brings me to is
Right, real quick. Have you heard of this game?
no, I don't know what the fuck. I didn't hear Path of the Exiles, let alone the fucking sequel. Um, the thing that drives me crazy is we talked about Asmongold. I made it clear already. Dude seems weird, lives with trash around him. Not my kind of person. I think we talked about before, and you've mentioned it a few times in this podcast. What is the issue with this guy? Like, what is the hate towards him?
For
Because
for
that's what.
Asmongold is just that
Yes.
he's more right leaning in his opinions. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
So is he like a staunch? He's out there being, like rallying against stuff, or was he asked an opinion and he just gave an opinion? And I'm just asking this because I truly don't know because I'm trying to understand this guy, Pirate Software, which is actually ironic. I was subscribed to him. I didn't even know I was because I've only seen him in shorts, in the YouTube shorts,
That's
and
how he got big is because of his like computer knowledge YouTube shorts.
that
Yeah.
that's all. Literally, like he would give, like he's like, "Hey, if you're doing this, here's some interesting computer knowledge." And I watched enough of his videos, and some of it then leaked into video games, but other of it was just computer knowledge. I was like, "Oh, let me look into this guy." He apparently worked for Blizzard, and he was like the I don't know what the fuck he was. He also has a voice where I'm like, he should be on radio. Like he has an interesting voice. I'll say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I've never watched a full length video. I've only seen him in his shorts. So like I actually knew about him more than Asmongold. So then trying to understand why would he get backlash for talking Asmongold, and I went down the rabbit hole trying to figure it out, and of course I got, I'll call it the ball lickers of Asmongold, and he's terrible. But right now everything is flooded with him and Elon, so I can't get to the root of why people hated him before. So what was the issue before, just so I understand?
I don't know a ton of it because I don't like follow the guy, but I think it's probably that situation with a lot of other people where like he would, he was just a gamer, then he started to do some commentary stuff, and he would have some like slightly right leaning opinions, and people would kind of freak out a little bit on him, and then he would push back on it. And it's one of those like snowball effects where he just got more and more right leaning with everything. So now he's in the thing where he's like, very anti-trans, anti-DEI in games and all that kind of stuff, like very misogynistic and shit like that.
So here's my question to that, and I'm asking because I truly don't know. Is
Yeah.
he anti versus he just doesn't support? Like if he's asked a question, is he just like, yeah, I'm not cool with that, or is he like, I'm tweeting about this every day, saying like I hate these? Like,
You know what?
there's a difference.
I can't even. You're right, and I couldn't tell you. That's just what I've seen for why people don't like him.
So that
Because
is
I'll see the
my one.
occasional tweet here or there about something he goes, and I go, all right, so he knew what he was doing for this kind of reaction. But like, yeah, I don't know if it's like something he just harps on every day. I'm not following him.
So okay, what I suspect is based on you putting this as norm review is. Are you asking my opinion about
My my
pirates? Go
my
on.
normie view, my bringing this back to the topic, right? Do you think it's wrong that this pirate software guy would have talked to someone who is hated by a chunk of the internet?
Not at all. And you and I may be talking to some people that we don't fully agree with. Here's the deal. You should be able to talk. Talking to someone means fucking nothing. what I find interesting is it'd be
But Brian,
different
you're
if he,
platforming. Even though Asmongold is really more platforming this guy than the other way around. But
well, that's
continue.
my point. It's
Yeah.
like, well, don't get me wrong, Pirate Software has 2.6 million subscribers.
Okay, that's pretty good.
So they're
Yeah.
like probably, even though Asmongold is talked about more,
Yeah.
they're, I mean, from a YouTube standpoint, you could debate, they're basically neck and neck in theory, right?
Yeah.
So my whole thing is if he brought them on and they started talking topics that are controversial, whatever, these two fucking nerds just talked about ashes of fucking creation. And Pirates Software whole thing was like, yo, Asmond, you were kind of talking shit on a game you never played. I love this game. Here's why I love this game. So I'm like, okay. Like it was the most nerdy conversation. If you actually listen to it, like it's the same deal as like imagine not that it would ever happen, but regardless of anyone's political leaning, Jim, if somehow Donald Trump said he wanted to come on our podcast, would there be any fucking way in hell we would ever say no?
In a fucking heartbeat, we would have him
Yes.
on.
People who would say like I can't talk to so like that's the whole point of all this is like you talk to people, right? Like you don't have just because I talk to you doesn't mean I agree with you. Doesn't just because I would have you on my podcast doesn't mean shit. We've had people on this podcast we don't agree with. I think that is the most ridiculous thing to get mad at a person. Um, Once again, I think it would be very different if like Asmund came on and whatever he's being accused of, people hate him of, if that was being talked about, and then this guy was agreeing with him, and that was pissing people off. Different story. They're nerding out about some stupid shit. Now, I will say, I draw lines at actual people who've done wrong. Like there are lines to everything in life, right? Like the worst of the worst actual criminals and crimes I don't even want to say. But like, yeah, you never. I would. There's some people I never want to talk to just because
Yeah,
you
like
think
wait,
differently
like
than me.
we wouldn't have EDP 445 on the show. Let's put it that way.
I don't know who that is.
Big fat black guy who unfortunately wears Eagles gear in all of his videos, and he's a pedophile.
Is he the one that always freaks used to freak out about? He would have the eagle shit on, and like in front of the camera, he would be like, "Oh, okay," like he was like freaking out. Like he basically did shorts, right? Like a lot of them. Is that the guy you're
I
talking
guess
about?
he probably did. If he
If
was
it's
a
who I
big fat
think it
black
is, I
guy, then it probably is the same guy. Yeah.
and what was he? What happened?
He got caught, I believe, twice by pedophile hunting YouTubers who would set up like sting operations. But because it's YouTubers, you can't really file police reports after because the YouTubers always fuck it up. So he's still out there roaming about. Right,
Well, now I
EDP
wish
stands
I would
for
have known that.
eat that pussy.
Well,
445.
here's the deal. I wasn't I've seen his clips. Um okay, well now I know someone I can't. But yes, you are right. That's someone I would not be willing to converse with. But as we've said, we've talked with people. We're going to talk to people who may have caught some heat here and there. I don't need to fucking agree with. If we're talking about beer and video games, I don't give a shit. But you and I don't engage in the other topics. I think you need to just let people talk to people. Maybe it gives a different flavor. I don't know. Asmongold from that interview, I just went, okay, he's still just a nerd that I think is kind of weird. That's where my base level left with him, without knowing any history of what he's done. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. It's just like, yeah, like you can hate him for his opinions, but I mean, if he has a platform and he's a big name in that MMO scene, then if you're talking about an MMO game, he's a good person to have on your stream to, get people talking. So I can't hate on the strategy there. And especially if they just talked about the game the entire time, then okay.
Jim, I'm also a firm believer. There's difference between being an outspoken prick who like needs to rally to shit versus if you just have a different opinion and when you're asked you say, "Here's my opinion." I'm okay with it. You can have a different opinion about me than what I think about situations, right? Like you don't need to agree with me on everything. I unfortunately I think some people's whole identities are tied to like
Yeah, that's not
Very
the internet.
select.
I was gonna say it's not the internet anymore.
No, I know. And that's what I'm saying. That's part of the reason why I can't be on the internet. Like, I feel like you're basically like, all right, are you here or are you here? And people choose to just live in those one or two categories. And I'm like, but what about all those other categories I care about? It, you know, it's different. So I'm completely fine with him interviewing him. I don't get to hate. I also don't get the response of, yeah, well, fuck this guy too. Like the people kind of going after pirate software. I'm like, the initial issue was the Asmond guy, and now you're like trying to drag pirate software down. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But yeah,
I mean, Bri, we are talking about MMO side of Twitter and YouTube, so that's
MMO
just a world
that whole
I don't have the time. I don't have the focus. I would need to go back to school for it. Maybe make a character that looks like a pink maggot. I'd have to, change myself, possibly in a House of Flies, in order to really get myself in there. Say maybe 7 words that I'll have to say every stream. I don't know, Brian. You tell me.
I'll tell you, don't do it. How about that?
Well,
And
fair enough.
I'll whoop your ass if you try. How about that? That's some OC love right there, Jim.
OC.
Oxford Circle. What?
Well, yes. I thought you were going back to the new metal gimmick, Brian. All right.
No, I'm not. That is your gimmick, Jim. All right, this ain't the South Town.
Where the kids don't play. But Brian,
So,
much like the Costco guys, I will bring the boom. All right.
oh God, those poor fucking kids. Oh my God.
What will the Rizzler do without TikTok? That is the biggest crime of all, Brian.
I
Now he's got to go to Chinese TikTok. Fuck.
what's that replacement that everyone's trying to switch to? Fucking Red Note.
Red Note, which is basically Chinese TikTok. Yeah.
Is it really? Okay. So here's the deal. So we're recording this on the 16th. I think I saw it's supposed to China was going to pull it as of Sunday, waiting on this legislation.
Apparently, TikTok itself has said we're pulling it regardless. So no matter what, we're
Okay.
pulling it. So unless the Senate or whatever comes out and says we're not doing this ban, they're just going to shut it down.
How many fucks do you care, Jim?
Bri, this is. You know what? I was going to gloat and be like, "Oh, this is so liberating," but you know what's just happening now? I'm being sent Instagram reels. I thought I would escape from people texting me TikToks all the time and then bitching when I don't watch the TikToks they send me constantly. And now it's Instagram reels. It's never going to stop.
I with multiple people. See. I am way more of the Instagram. I've never been a TikToker other than our channel. And you know what? Here's the one thing I'll give TikTok credit for: the engagement was fucking great compared to other platforms. That one, like, actually, people were very engaged. So I don't know how they replicate that with YouTube and Instagram, but yeah, I never, other than when I would post for our channel, I never watched TikTok whatsoever. So
Yep. Same. Yeah,
yeah,
that was an app I never opened on my own. And here's the thing, unless you're on Wi-Fi, that app fucking blew. Because someone would send you a video and then some other video would start and then would freeze for like 15 seconds before your video finally loaded. It never goddamn worked anyway. What the fuck?
you gotta stop having your Sprint mobile fucking phone. That was the issue with your phone.
It's called Boost Mobile, Brian, and I love it. How dare you?
So Chambers, how was your
I got my
nice
phone in a box of Chex Mix, all right? I don't know what you're talking about.
God, I really wish you had those fucking old headphones from your sock collection.
I mean, the headphones were just headphones. I wish I still had the little egg-shaped fucking radio that only picked up 3 stations.
That was I still like when I saw that, I was like, did they buy the socks knowing it was in there, or did they think, oh boy, like, was it more a mistake, or were they like, that's the one for
That's a 2-for-1 deal for our Jimmy baby. He needs socks. He likes music. What more could he want?
oh fuck. Well,
So
that was the era.
for a little backstory for everyone out there listening, one year for Christmas, my parents got me this 3-pack of dress socks that came with this little egg-shaped radio for some reason. So me being me, I was like, "Oh, I'll use the radio. I was a commuter, so I'd be sitting there on the train listening to this little shit dick radio that almost never kept the signal. And everyone else is walking around with iPods, and I'm sitting here with this egg shaped fucking radio.
And what's great was that was the thing you had before the Zune.
Yes, I had that before the Zune.
And was this the era of you had didn't you have an orange phone?
No, I never had an orange phone. I had a
Did somebody have, or was your radio orange? Like
no,
for some
no.
reason,
Maul had the orange phone. He had the orange
Bull had the
flip
orange.
up one.
Okay, I
Yeah,
couldn't remember who had the orange. I remember somebody with an orange phone at that time, because I do remember us being in the library and hiding one of your things in the library.
he had a lot of my shit in the library. I can't keep track.
Well, you would also pass out while we're all actually working. So don't
Yes, I
act
would.
like, yeah, don't act like you
Sure
were
I did.
innocent.
And that's why I have my
Ah,
dreams of failing classes, and that's why I'm going to use some Magic Mind sleep formula tonight, sleep performance shots to help me get to sleep.
which once again, make sure check our link below, magicmind.com, DBPG January to get 45% off any of your orders. Chambers, you made the fucking weirdest combo of beers you could have in the worst order possible. Which one did you prefer and how is it treating you right now?
You know what? This Abominable Joe man is actually a really good coffee stout, if not a little generic. Um, it's really one of those ones where it's if you've had a coffee stout, you've had them all. I will say 7.5% alcohol. It was not boozy one bit. It wasn't overly sugary. I don't have that film on my lips or anything like that. So very nice and balanced. And I guess thanks to the booze, like when I was like, it's a fucking coffee stout. It just coats your throat anyway. So after like two or three
Mm-hmm.
sips, that's all I was tasting. The soda beer was gone basically. Um, but like them both for different reasons. Obviously, like the soda beer is way more refreshing and drinkable because it's a soda. So, like, I would obviously say I like that more. But both of these were great, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a twist I was not expecting. So right now, I feel like I've got the life.
So, motherfucker. You just keep rolling, rolling, rolling with the
Yeah.
songs, don't you?
If I drink too many
Jim,
of these, I might break stuff.
Jim, don't lie. Is there a part of you that actually liked the entrance of the American Badass Undertaker more than the old school Undertaker?
At the time, a little bit, yeah. Because you know what it was? I was kind of like I liked the Ministry music, but I always wish he just came back to that, like, the classic Undertaker funeral
Well,
march.
okay. That's what I mean. The original. Dun, dun, dun,
To me,
dun.
that's too timeless and iconic. Like that was like
Okay.
that was one of those things that got me into wrestling the first time I watched. I was like, what the fuck is this guy? And then Ministry Undertaker, by that point, I was like, man, this is really played out and lame. So when he came out to Kid Rock, I was like, yeah, I like Kid Rock too.
So here's my question though: did you prefer the Kid Rock or the Limp Bizkit entrances for Undertaker?
I kind of was almost out of it by the time he switched over to Limp Bizkit.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that.
2002, I was really wavering in my fandom by that point.
Do you prefer the Tombstone or the Last Ride as a finisher?
Tombstone, come on.
Tombstone's more classic. I think Last Ride's still more impressive.
It is impressive, and that probably hurt like a motherfucker to take.
I mean, granted, I can't really recall a lot of big guys he did that to, but still, like I'm like, okay, this is out
Undertaker,
of nowhere.
Undertaker was a strong guy, but he wasn't like as strong as you would think he was. So yeah, no, he wasn't doing
He
that
wasn't
to a
Cage
lot of.
strong.
No, he was not Kane strong at all. That's for goddamn sure.
I still think his worst finisher was when he's like, "Let me do fucking submission holds." I don't even remember. I was not watching at all during
Oh,
that
that
era.
that the Hell's Gate or whatever it's called. Yeah,
Yeah, that to me was the worst.
yeah. When he
But
started larping a little bit too much with the MMA, it's like, come on, dude.
yeah, but yeah, Voodoo Ranger. Like I said at the beginning, if you like hazy IPAs, you won't be disappointed, but you won't have this one and be like, this is my favorite hazy IPA. Strong, feeling pretty good from it. I'd recommend trying it again in the future. So with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for listening, for watching. If you're listening on Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, make sure you hit subscribe. Leave us some comments. If you give us 5 stars, we're going to read each and every one of those comments in these Power Hour podcasts. And if you're watching on iTunes, make sure you hit subscribe, the notification bell, leave us comments, let us know what you like and you didn't like. And with that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everyone. I wish you were here.